Hi, it's Peach. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I'm an amateur photographer, and I just spent 3 days at a photography conference with the professional photographers leading workshops and field trips. And this is what I did on my long weekend, and here's what I learned. The conference is called Fotoclave. It's hosted by an organization, a group of photography camera clubs and organizations in Northern California, and they have the conference every 2 years. I've gone a couple times before, and it was a lot of lectures. This year, they really changed it up. They relocated it, and they did a lot of hands-on stuff and field trips, and it was very different. So they changed the venue, and they picked Santa Cruz, California. Santa Cruz is a beach town. It's at the north end of Monterey Bay. It's beautiful. You've got redwood forests coming down from the mountains, miles and miles of glorious California coastline, and it's a fun little town. The way they did the conference this year was when you registered, you picked from a variety of sessions and topics. And so if you could pick landscape, you could pick cell phone photography, you could pick food photography, surfing photography, bird photography, sessions on everything. And then you kind of set your own schedule based on which sessions were interesting to you. So the first session that I had was part one of a three-part series on video for photographers. I thought that was a good idea as a fledgling YouTuber. And the guy who taught the class, the first session was a presentation. So everybody who took this class is already a photographer. Everybody knows about depth of field and dynamic range. So the instructor really focused on the video part of it. So in the first session, he talked about how to plan your video, how to get certain shots, why to use certain shots at what time, and how to sort of plan the mood for your video. He talked about how viewers respond differently to different types of shots. He covered the use of transitions and timing, and it was a good introduction to the things that we'd be doing in the next two sessions. There was a meet and greet with some of the other photographers. We got to mingle with people from other camera clubs and other parts of the state. And after a morning of traveling and an afternoon of sessions, it was time to go check into my room. A while ago, Level 8 sent me a Suitcase to review, and I'll leave that video below. I go through all the specs and the features of the bag. But I've had it for a couple of months now, and I thought I'd do an update about what I think now. This is the Voyageur 20-inch carry-on. It's a hard shell bag. And one of the unique features of this particular bag is the handles that go all the way to the end, which leaves you a lot more open space in the middle to pack. I'm impressed with the body of the bag. It's a German-made polycarbonate material, and also the zippers, YKK zippers that are really sturdy and smooth. But my favorite part is by far the wheels. These are really smooth wheels. They just glide, they're quiet. You don't have to apply much pressure at all. They just glide. The wheels are great. So I'm on a 4-day trip. Let's see what I was able to pack in this bag. In this little mesh pocket, I have all of my nighttime stuff. Got my safety lock in case I need it, my silk pillowcase, that goes over there, a mask, some ear plugs, various stuff that I need for nighttime. In this section, I've got a lot of liquids, sunscreen, perfume, a bunch of stuff that I didn't want to have leak. And this side is mostly clothes. What do we got? Oh, this is going to be a little kit for a spa pamper night when I get back to the hotel tonight. We have my tech bag, a hair mister. These are my jammies and undies and swimsuit. And all of my clothes are in here. And a rain jacket. And on this side, we've got sun hat, must have that. We've got a tripod because I'm on a camera trip. Tripod head, toiletry bag, makeup, a hiking towel, hair stuff, another pair of shoes, sweater, and some dryer sheets and laundry sheets. And I had a lot of room left. I could have brought more shoes. I want to thank Level 8 for sending me this bag to review. I'll leave a link below, along with a discount code, that Renegade10 for 10% off. So on the next day, I had the second part of the video class, and this was a walkabout. So we took our cameras, we went walking about the area with the instructor, and we were just taking shots, taking video clips of all kinds of things. And he would go from person to person and talk about how to get your establishing shot, make sure you get the signage in to help set the scene, zooming in. We were standing in front of a hotel at one point and getting, establishing shots of the hotel. And he was pointing out, no, you should wait for someone to come out of the hotel. It's better to have a person moving in the scene. Little things like that, and tips and tricks, and he helped people with their gear. He was really good. I'll leave the name of the instructors that I had for my sessions and their websites below in case anybody's interested. And it was really fun, and people could kind of wander off, and you're trying to think, okay, I'm supposed to make a video about this class, so what shots do I need? And people were helping each other. It was a great, great little session. And on the third day, we met again, in the classroom session again, and the instructor made two videos off the footage that he'd taken the day before. So the first one, he used a cell phone, and he had it projected on the big screen so we could all see what he was doing. And he took all the clips and talked about why he was putting them in the order he was, and how to transition and how to use a lot of the tools in the editing software. The app that he was using is one I haven't heard of before, and I was pretty intrigued because it seemed a lot better than the app that I have on my phone, the app that's native to my phone. So I think I'll have to download that and try that one out. And then he went onto his desktop and he did the same thing, making another video using the desktop software. And again, a lot of recommendations. It was very interactive. People were just asking questions the whole time. He was great at kind of doing what he was doing, but still working in answers to the questions that we were all throwing at him. And it was a lot of fun, and he was a really good instructor. So I enjoyed that session a lot. I also signed up for a 2-part series on food photography. And I think the only reason I signed up for this is I travel a lot with a friend, and she's a big foodie. And when we go to restaurants, she's always taking pictures of our food. And so I take pictures too, but her pictures always look better than mine. So I thought I need to up my food photography game here. So the instructor was a professional food photographer and product photographer, does a lot of commercial product photography. The first session was a presentation where he covered a lot of different topics, but a lot of information about lighting and composition. Lighting was really important. He had a lot of examples, and he was demonstrating his points with a lot of visual examples. One, he was talking about how color impacts an audience's reaction, and he had 3 different pictures, all of them the same martini, with just a different color in the background. And it was really interesting how you felt differently about the drink based on just that one feature. The woman who was next to me and I both liked the amber-colored background martini. We really wanted that one. And the next day we had the second session for the food photography, and the instructor had set up a room with a lot of stations, tons of lighting, lots of props, and we went around from station to station and set up photographs of a variety of things, again, some cocktails, some other stuff that he had. And he had lots of professional studio lighting that we could use. And he would go around from person to person and give us tips, and we'd work in pairs and suggest, well, let's put a side light over here and see what that does. And it was great. It was a lot of fun. Everybody was having a good time and making suggestions to each other. And he was really good at coming over and explaining what he would do and why. Very informative. And then I signed up for 3 sessions, all of which had a pre-workshop Zoom meeting. And in each of those Zoom meetings, like a week before the conference, the instructor would give a presentation. They talk about what we were going to do. These were all field trips out into the world, gear that we would need, what to expect, things that we should prepare for, and then also just talk about their subject matter. So one of the sessions I chose was an intimate landscape session. I've done a lot of landscape photography. It's one of my favorite genres. But intimate landscape is focusing in on a smaller part of nature, maybe a symbiotic relationship between some of the plants and things. It's not macro photography. It's not just zooming in super close. It's kind of presenting nature in a much smaller scene. The instructor talked a lot about the importance of just slowing down and looking for a mini scene within the larger landscape. So for the actual workshop, we went up into the mountains above Santa Cruz to a redwood grove. We all wandered around, slowing down, and looking for a more focused and select, smaller view of the landscape. The instructor wandered around from person to person, giving tips and comments, and it was a very peaceful stroll through the beautiful redwoods. So another class I signed up for was a seascape class. And again, this was one that had the Zoom meeting earlier in the week. And the instructor, in addition to talking about photographing seascapes, he had a list of stuff we should be sure to bring, which I carefully wrote down, got everything out, and I still managed to forget a few things, including my waterproof shoes. But the weather was nice, and so my feet got wet. So for the workshop, we met at a beach north of Santa Cruz and spent the session down on the beach, standing in the water with the waves coming in, and it was slow shutter photography. So you slow the water down and get that glassy kind of look. We used a lot of neutral density filters, and again, the instructor would go from person to person and give tips and help as needed. I love landscape, but I especially love seascapes photography, and so I hadn't done it in a while, so this was a good refresher and just a beautiful morning at the beach. This instructor was terrific, and I really enjoyed him. He leads a lot of workshops all over the world, and I'm going to have to check my schedule and his and see if there's something that I can sign up for with him, because I really enjoyed him. So my final session was with a people photographer, basically environmental portraits. This lady has gone all over the world photographing people for documentaries and magazine articles, and her main message was you need to make a connection with people first. You just don't go in and just start taking pictures. Talk to them, find out about them, get to know them a little bit, and then take their photo. People photography is a really hard genre for me. I hate having my own picture taken, and I just assume everybody else does. Ironic that I'm choosing to be on YouTube, but I feel like I'm intruding into someone's private space, and that makes me uncomfortable. I think one of the big takeaways that I got from this instructor was that you're not taking something from your subject, you're giving something to them. And she gave a bunch of examples of that. People who had not been in a good headspace, and when she took their photo and showed them the picture, they felt validated somehow. And so that was important to them. Just the fact that she wanted to take their picture had become important to them. She gave some examples of having made some photographs and then the person passed away, and so the family was really glad to have the photo afterwards. And I hadn't really thought about it as something that the person you're photographing might find value in. I always thought it was, I'm taking a picture so I can put it in a camera club competition, but maybe it would mean something to them. So that was a different perspective I hadn't thought of before. Every night there was a keynote speaker, and all 3 were absolutely terrific. They were really inspirational, beautiful presentations, photographs, but just the stories they told So I came away really jazzed, very inspired and sort of re-energized to get my camera out and go take some good photos. And I think that it was a really good bang for the buck. I got a lot of value out of going. So for me, it was well worth it. So what I did wrong was, even though I had plenty of time to prepare for this, I forgot stuff. I forgot my tripod plate. I had to borrow from, luckily other photographers had a spare. I forgot my waterproof shoes, and I had everything laid out. So I just didn't take the time to focus on it. I just kind of thought, oh, well, I'll just get ready. And then it was time to go, and I ran out the door and I forgot things. So what did I do right? Well, one of the things I did right was I made sure I had food in my hotel room. There wasn't a lot of downtime, and even though they gave us 30 minutes in between each session, sometimes you had to travel from point A to point B or go to your room and get different gear. And so I was really glad that I had taken the time to make sure I had healthy and fast food in my hotel room. It's kind of funny. I had some bean burritos and I thought, oh, I'll have one of those. I didn't have a plate to put it on. So I was kind of wandering around the hotel looking for some plate I could steal to go heat up. And I finally went to a little shop across the street and bought paper plates and went back to heat up the burrito and noticed that there was no microwave in the room. I haven't been in a hotel room and I don't know how long that didn't have a microwave. So I ate a cold burrito, and who doesn't have a microwave? But I also had other things that didn't need to be heated up, and so that was a good thing, to be able to just grab my own food so that I didn't have to take time. Another thing I did right was I gave myself a spa night in the hotel the first night, and I'd planned this, and I brought some face masks and foot masks and pampering kinds of things, and just took about a half hour in my room before I went to bed and just spa'd up, and that was really relaxing and kind of fun to do. I don't do that at home. And another thing that I did right was I tried a lot of new things. I didn't take the classes and things that I'm experienced in. I tried new things and tried to learn, and no, that was really rewarding. That was good. So I think it was well worth the money, well worth the time. I had a blast, and I feel energized and looking forward to going and doing some new things, both still photography and now video. So that was my photography conference outing. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, I'd appreciate a like. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.